Morning and welcome to our October 27th MPO meeting. Please join us for a prayer from Pastor Jim Harp, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Let's pray. Father, thank you for this day. Once again, Lord, we thank you for your many blessings in our lives. Lord, we thank you that we acknowledge your presence here this morning, Lord. What a great pleasure and privilege it is for me to come and open this meeting, Lord, with just that acknowledgement, God, that you're here. And Lord, I thank you for just even reading in your word this morning, just the direction that you've given us to walk humbly with you, Lord, and to recognize you in every aspect of our lives. And Lord, your word tells us also that you place leaders in authority over us and in our communities and beyond. And Lord, I thank you for these that are here, that have been placed in this position, Lord, of oversight and supervision and making decisions. And God, I ask for your wisdom and your direction, your guidance for each of them. And I thank you for this beautiful place that you've allowed us to reside, to live. And God, we just ask your continued blessing upon us, Lord. So I pray this day, Lord, you'd be glorified. Bless this meeting. I pray for each decision that's made, God, it would come in line with your plans and for your kingdom and your glory. I ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's do the roll call, please.
Commissioner Eileen Vargas.
Present.
Commissioner Sarah Hurd.
Here.
Commissioner Stacey Hetherington. Commissioner Blake Capps.
Here.
Commissioner Edward Campy.
Here.
Commissioner Christopher Collins.
Here.
Commissioner Kaya Mayfield.
Here.
Mayor Carmine DiPaolo.
Here.
Commissioner Sean Reed.
Here.
And we have a quorum.
Excellent. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? That motion passes unanimously.
I do have a question on this. Is this board bound by a certain Florida state statute? It's 120.525. It's meeting, hearings, and workshops.
Why?
Well, because it says the agenda with any meeting materials available in electronic form excluding confidential and exempt information shall be published on the agency's website, but it wasn't published on there.
It was on the website. You all posted it on the MPO website.
I took this morning. It doesn't show available.
Do you want us to pull it up now?
Sure.
Please do.
Looks like it's posted.
Yeah, but the download, so there's no agenda packet or, see where the download section is on the top right?
He's right. We'll make sure we'll get it.
So
Just
just surprised that I'm hearing about this now. I
found out this morning. I was poking around.
never got any calls this past week about it. I mean, you all got the agendas on Monday. Last Monday, we always send out the agendas 7 days in advance.
But to his point, for the public.
Can this be rectified now and
Don't know.
in the future? I mean, how are we going to handle this?
Don't know. Let's have legal counsel look at it and
Sure.
proceed.
Sure.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? That motion passes unanimously. I have one request to speak from the public, and that's Susan Gibbs Thomas. Oh, I'm sorry, 8A. So, okay. I have no other requests to speak from the public. Would anyone like to address us? And moving on. Do we need to take any items out of order this morning
No, I think.
in order to accommodate our special guest?
No, I think we're all set.
Okay, excellent. Then we'll take up 8A.
This item is the Florida Department of Transportation Draft Tentative Work Program. It comes before you every year. We are fortunate enough to have Steve Braun, the District 4 Secretary, here to talk about the state of the state, and he is here with his staff that has been, the District 4 staff, that I will tell you is they are wonderful with the, to work with for the MPO. They have done so much for the Martin MPO to support us and the MPO board's priorities. So before I take, just talk about their presentations themselves, I will introduce Steve Braun to come up here to talk to you a little bit about what's in store for Martin County.
Welcome, Secretary, our longtime collaborator.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having me. Appreciate Beth's introduction of me and the entire team here. And likewise, we sincerely enjoy the relationship with MPO staff. Wonderful working relationship. As some of you know, I cut my teeth on several key projects in this region early in my career, and it's always great coming in here and bring back some of those memories of collaboration over the years. So I do appreciate that. I am here today really with the entire District 4 team, not the entire team, but key people from the team that were involved in developing the work program. So that's the primary intent of this meeting or this presentation. I am going to go through a couple of other more big picture type slides of the Florida Department of Transportation. I was coming in hot this morning. I had a statewide call, so I didn't get a chance to really interact with any of you before the meeting, but I always enjoy that opportunity. One of the topics on the call, as you probably saw, there was severe weather north of here, in the district north of here in Brevard County. So we set up a cadence every week to talk out through our calendars, and then during storm season, we all kind of, again, collaborate towards supporting other districts if needed as well. So fortunately, no major issues here in Martin or Treasure Coast, but we'll keep an eye on that weather.
I saw that there was 14.5 inches of rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flooding?
Nothing significant. I mean, in Brevard County, there was some flooding, yeah, for sure.
Remarkable.
Where am I going with this, Beth?
You can.
Oh, okay. So as I mentioned, the primary focus of today's presentation, the draft tentative work program.
You can just use the wheel to.
So you've probably heard a lot of our folks talk about the DOT compass. It's shown there on the left-hand side. Communities are at the center of that compass, and I wanted to share that really to show our focus areas. As mentioned, we sincerely enjoy the collaboration with our communities and understand how important transportation is to our community. So you, as an MPO, understand the importance of the collaboration with the communities, and likewise, we do too. So communities at the center of that compass, and then the true north on that compass is safety. We prioritize safety. We look at safety opportunities in all that we do. But we also focus on other areas, resiliency. I mentioned kind of storm event, rain events, making sure our infrastructure is resilient, also making sure our workforce is resilient too. Supply chain, that's become more and more of a household term over recent years, and really understanding how critical transportation is to our supply chain. So again, impacts to the communities resonates closely with supply chain. Technology, looking for opportunities to embrace technology. How do we better manage our transportation network? How do we embrace technology to be more effective and efficient? And then workforce development, really, as you'll see in my presentation, massive work program. We're looking always to continue to get people interested in this industry. Transportation is important, and really doing all we can to get people interested in this industry and developing the people we have in the agency or in other agencies as well. In the middle of the screen, we talk about relationships, right? These are other core principles that we have: trust, respect, relationships, empowerment, and communication. And a lot of that obviously is emphasized internally, but externally with agency partners, industry professionals, we continue to look at those core principles as well. Big basis of that is the relationships. We love our acronyms at DOT, so we call that TREC, part of the journey. I'm going to touch on really just statewide. I think generally we're pretty humble as an agency, but more recently we've been sharing externally how critical this industry is nationally, but even internationally. Our state secretary recently returned from a trade mission in Italy, and he came back really talking about internationally people look to Florida as a model for transportation. So not only is Florida DOT well respected across the nation, other countries even look to us, how do we deliver transportation? So everything from the spaceport, 12,000 lane miles, 4 large hub commercial airports across the state, and then the 3 largest cruise passenger ports in the world. We also have the most mega projects in history. Mega project is defined as 500 million or more projects. We have several of those around the state. We recently heard the state secretary, and I've kind of spoken to our team in District 4 about this as well. If you take really our work program and break it down into things that resonate with other industries, 10,000 plus active contracts. $19 billion in active contracts. And that number is staggering. When I look at the team behind me, everything it takes to kind of make this machine work, $47 million in output per day statewide. So we're essentially operates at the same level as far as budget as Fortune 500 companies. So that's even more critical, as I mentioned, really just to get people engaged in this industry and making sure we're leveraging the latest and greatest technology and so forth. 47 million a day. I think once our comptroller shared that, we jumped on that and said that's an important number to share. And that really relates to everyone out there, contractors, consultants, really helping deliver this program. So bringing it down to District 4, as most of you know, District 4 covers the 5 counties, Broward, Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River. 4 million residents, 783 bridges, over 6,000 lane miles. Believe it or not, 92 airports in this district, and then 3 deep water ports. I mentioned the mega projects. We do have a mega project in Broward County, the Southwest 10th Street Connector. That's over $1 billion project. It's been planned for, spoken about for decades, and we're on the cusp of delivering that project through phase design build. We're seeing population increases across the entire district, so really understanding the population increase, the demands that puts on the transportation network, even makes it more critical to make that connection and plan for that growth. So a summary of our 5-year work program. So the 5-year program now is fiscal year 27 to fiscal year 2031. For District 4, for those 5 counties I mentioned, $5.7 billion project work program. Massive number, really just taking all hands on deck to deliver that type of program. And you'll see there the range of types of projects in that program. On the far left, you'll see safety, $126 million. Those are dedicated safety funds for safety-specific projects. When I talk through all the other projects we deliver, safety is an element of all of those projects as well. So don't be alarmed by that number being lower than the others. The other categories do include safety. For example, resurfacing, $507 million in resurfacing. There are safety elements within those resurfacing projects as well. Bridge repair and replacement, $162 million. And then the state highway system, other road construction, that's primarily capacity improvement projects. You'll see on the bottom right there, our modal program, $784 million. So that, a lot of people see DOT as roads and bridges. We obviously, as you know, are a partner with the airports, seaports, transit agencies. So that's a pretty robust multimodal element of our program in District 4. So I touched on a couple of these points. We're constantly reimagining transportation, right? As an industry, and I'll kind of work through this slide, innovation in project delivery. I mentioned phase design build, modified phase design build, other approaches to deliver projects, in more of a collaborative type environment with contractors, but also ways where we could expedite those projects. Things such as volunteer acceleration, working with the contractors to really incentivize advancing projects once they start construction. A lot of you may have seen, right, on the I-4 corridor in Central Florida, the department was able to accelerate pieces of those projects, build auxiliary lanes in advance of the other project to see that immediate benefit on that facility. Workforce development I touched on, and I do appreciate the partnership with other agencies as we continue to look at getting people interested in this industry. So hiring events. Tomorrow we actually have in Broward County what we call construction career days. We're going to have about 2,000 high school students there interacting with industry professionals, really just learning about this industry. At District 4, we have a mentoring program. We have a program last week that we had a graduation for, a rotation program, a similar program that I went through early in my career, where employees get a chance to rotate through different offices just to give them exposure to other offices, but also build relationships with people in those offices. Research and innovation. Some of you, if you haven't had a chance to visit the SunTrax facility in Lakeland, right, it originally was really a testing ground for tolling equipment for the turnpike. That's expanded to testing autonomous vehicles, other technology, connected vehicles, and more recently an announcement where they'll be testing advanced air mobility, which is on the emerging technology side of this slide. Think Jetsons, right? Basically an opportunity to get into some kind of pod, aircraft, and really get to your destination. So SunTrax, again, is leading the charge. State of Florida is leading the charge on advanced air mobility. As we drove past Witham Field here, maybe one day in the future, I won't be stuck on the turnpike in traffic. I'll be able to get into one of these advanced air mobility pods, drop me off just down the street here. So looking forward to those type of things. I mean, we have leveraged drone technology over recent years in hurricane response, in bridge inspections, in site inspections, traffic analysis. So really taking that to the next level. And then from a safety perspective, leveraging technology as well. We've seen it real-time traffic management, smart work zones, lane closure notification system where the contractor enters the data related to the lane closure, and that goes straight to your Waze or Apple Maps application. So again, a lot going on there, a lot on that slide, but I really just wanted to share what we're doing as an agency, and then really with the partnerships in transportation professionals like your staff here, looking for opportunities to push the envelope on any of those areas that I mentioned. So here it is. There's it's not quite Jetsons, but that looks pretty far-fetched. But in reality, we expect these advanced air mobility vehicles really to be taking the air in that testing area in SunTrax, and then within the next few years, we'll actually see that. So imagine the planning needed for that highway in the sky type technology. How do you manage that? So we as an agency expect to be heavily involved in the planning and implementation, with obviously private industry being a big part of that as well. So I mentioned some of the points with developing our workforce, and again, everything from developing future leaders, but really from the first day someone starts with the department, understanding that they have a career path with us or within the industry. I mentioned the Southwest 10th Street project, $1 billion project. We're going to be doing a Road to Your Future hiring event in June of 2026. And more recently, we've been able to do things that private industry do, hire on the spot at career fairs. We actually hired 2 interns last week at an infrastructure night at Florida Atlantic University in Boca. So looking forward to more of that. And as I mentioned, Construction Career Days is actually this week. Target Zero, really zero fatalities is the target. We continue to embrace that. We have a very robust safety program. We partner with other agencies not only for the engineering side of it, but the education and outreach. I do appreciate Martin County and MPO staff recently were engaged in an outreach event with the department. And really these tabling events, going out to schools, you name it, we're there really just trying to educate the public on safety. And that's important really from a driver behavior perspective. There's only so much we can do in the planning and engineering, so they need to kind of be balanced to get to that target of zero fatalities. So I'll catch my breath there for a second. Yeah, I always enjoy coming to these meetings because there's excitement about the 5 years ahead, right? The new 5-year work program. But I think as a planning organization, it's important to step back, maybe reflect on some of the projects that are actually coming to fruition or recently completed. So I'm going to spend a few minutes and give you all some credit on the planning process, prioritizing projects, and getting to a point where we're able to design and deliver those projects, and then we finally get to the point where the construction is complete. So long history on this project, State Road 714, Martin Highway. Appreciate the community's patience through this project, but this was a major capacity improvement project. As you know, adding those additional lanes were critical for that connection. Really a backbone of that east-west network here in the county. I-95 turnpike connections, all the way to the eastern part of the county. Anytime we go in on a capacity improvement project like that, we're adding bike lanes, sidewalks, and so forth as well. This project, as you know, included the widening on the Turnpike Bridge as well. So that looks like a rendering, but that's the finished product. So appreciate everyone involved in that project. Safety, right? We've stood up here many years hearing about State Road 710. We understood a heavy lift to actually get that project fully funded, but we went ahead, at least at Tommy Clements, and did the turn lane improvement, which at least was some immediate return there. Get that turn lane implemented, make sure vehicles were out of that through lane, and that project is completed. So again, appreciate the opportunity to deliver that project. Resurfacing projects, here you're seeing the outcome of a resurfacing project on State Road 15. What's important to note there, besides the entering Martin County sign, the wider shoulder, right? So a lot of times we'll go into resurfacing. It's more than just replacing mill and replace that pavement material. If there are opportunities to add guardrail or wider shoulders from a safety perspective, we're having those conversations early as we scope those projects. So here you see that completed project. And an ongoing project here at US 1, also resurfacing, but it includes sidewalk improvements. It includes new lighting, really just to light the intersections and the corridor at large. So again, that's under construction, and we're continuing to work through that project. And with that, I'll hand off to Cesar Martinez, our District Planning and Environmental Administrator. I don't want to steal too much of his thunder, but we're here to really present what I believe is an instrumental work program, and again, looking forward to the continued coordination with the team. I do want to just quickly acknowledge the DOT folks that are here. As most of you know, right, every 2 years, there's what we call the short cycle based on the legislature schedule. So this year, the development of the work program was on that short cycle, and a lot of these folks back here locked themselves in the conference room for months on end and really just developed this program. We get allocations from central office, and then we best balance that with the MPO's priority projects. So Cesar's going to get into a little bit of that process and then just share highlights of key projects that are in the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary. Again, Cesar Martinez, District Planning and Environmental Administrator. So before we get into the projects, a quick overview of the cycle that he just explained to you. So again, this year is an early cycle. So normally we'll be like later in the year presenting this to you. But in the last 3 months, we have worked with the MPO staff to develop the drafted work program and balance the work program based on the allocations that we receive. So that's our presentation today. Hopefully today we will get your approval, and then we'll submit to central office and to the governor's office for approval as well, and the Florida Transportation Commission and Department of Commerce. So that will happen in December. Later in January, the final alternative work program is submitted again to the governor's office, FTC, and Department of Commerce, and it will be approved by the governor by July 1st, and then at that point, it will become officially the department's work program for the next 5 years. So in general, this is the process that we go through. We update cost estimates and right-of-way estimates on an annual basis for all projects in the prior 4 years. Overall, the project costs have remained in the same trend, so the cost estimates have continued going up with respect to the prior year. Funding allocations for this year were lower compared to prior cycle, and that was due to changes in revenue projections that impacted the allocation distribution. And our goal is to maintain projects that were committed in the common 4 years of the work program related to safety, preservation, and maintenance. And new projects or new phases are generally programmed in what it will be the new 5th year of the work program. In this case, is 2031. And we're happy to say that the District 4 work program is balanced to the allocations that were received. So starting with MPO priorities, number 1, 2, and 3, this is status 710. We have 5 segments along this corridor. So starting from the west, well, first of all, I want to say that all design phases for all projects or for all segments and the right-of-way phases are funded. So design phases are ongoing, and the right-of-way phase will start in fiscal year 27, right? So in terms of construction, for segment A and E, this is the realignment of County Road 714 and the widening of the piece that goes into Okeechobee County. Those are funded in fiscal year 29 and fiscal year 30, so the realignment is for $6.9 million. The construction for the small piece on Okeechobee is $2.2 million, and the construction engineering inspection of another $0.3 million. Segment B, this is from the FPL power plant to Marin County line. This is funded for construction and utilities in 20 and construction for the corridor in fiscal year 2031. So this is new funding, $173.4 million for construction and another $20 million for construction engineering and inspection. Next segment is Alapara Road to FPL Power Plant Road. That's another new funding allocated to the project. So this is construction for fiscal year 31 for another $86.8 million and construction engineering inspection for $18.1 million. So between segment B and C, you have almost $300 million total of new funding allocated to the project. And then next is segment D. This is from Van Buren Avenue to Alapata Road. Construction is funded in fiscal year 30, $17.2 million, and CEI $1.8 million. So with that, we can happily say that all segments on State 710 in Marin County and Eastern Okeechobee County are fully funded for construction between fiscal year 29, 30, and 31.
Thanks.
As far as the segments, thank you. Then as far as the segments into Okeechobee County, we're working with our partner district, and they confirmed to us, again, they're funded as well for construction in fiscal year 32, so they will come after us. The only piece that is not funded is the one next to State 70, but that's very minimal compared to the rest, and they're working diligently to get that other piece funded. Number 4, this is Cove Road from Conner Highway to US 1, widening to 4 lanes. Another accomplishment, the project development environment study was completed last month in September. Design was executed for $4.6 million. And right away, we added another $1.8 million, so it's fully funded for $6.8 million in fiscal year 27. The construction phase for this project it remains unfunded. Number 5, this is Bridge Road replacements. We did a feasibility study. We presented to this board and as well to the city. We worked with the MPO staff. We concluded that the bridge is in very good condition. Doesn't need to be replaced at this time. So we acknowledge the desire for replacement in the future. But at this time, the project is unfunded. Number 6, this is Commerce Avenue from Indian Street to Salerno Road. We're resurfacing, shoulder widening, and drainage at a cost of $6.1 million, and this remains unfunded. Number 7, US 1 at Palm City Road. This is another project that we work very closely with MPO staff. We did a feasibility study. Have presented again to this forum and the City of Stuart. So far, the feedback has been very positive. We will be doing a public meeting very soon in the next few months. As of now, the project remains unfunded. Number 8, Palm City Road from Monterey to US 1. This is a pedestrian and bicyclist improvement project. It remains unfunded. Number 9, Monterey at East Ocean Boulevard from Kingswood Terrace to San Lucie Boulevard. The request was for a pedestrian signal. We have looked into it. We did a signal warrant analysis. As of now, the requested signalization is not warranted, so the project remains unfunded. Number 10, Willoughby Boulevard extension from Monterey Road to US 1. This is a new 2-lane road. The project development environment study is ongoing, $5.2 million, and design phase of $1 million is funded in fiscal year 30. Number 9, High Meadow Avenue from I-95 to Marine Highway, widening to 4 lanes. Another accomplishment, the project development environment study was completed last month in September. Design has started at a cost of $2.3 million, and we had additional right-of-way funding of $1.5 million. The construction phase remains unfunded. Number 12, Citrus Boulevard from Hemingsway Terrace to 710, resurfacing and shoulder widening at a cost of $5.1 million. This project remains unfunded through LAB, the local agency program. Number 13, Alapara Road from 710 to Minute Maid Road. It's a resurfacing and shoulder widening at a cost of $6.6 million. This project remains unfunded, again, through the LAB program. 14, Alapara Road from Minute Maid to San Lucie County Line, again, remains unfunded through the LAB program. And number 15, Pomeroy Street from County Highway to US 1, resurfacing project at a cost of $2 million through the LAB, so that one is funded. Number 16, Seawolds Point Road from Ocean Boulevard to Palmer Street, a resiliency project. We're working with the MPO to complete our coordination, but as of now, the project remains unfunded. Number 17, this is A1A Ocean Boulevard from State 0714, at State 0714, sorry. This is a small project, but mighty, I will say. This is relocating the mass arms, the traffic signals, mass arms, from the sidewalk. So design has been funded in fiscal year 2031 at a cost of $300,000. And number 18, County Highway at South River Drive, the new south by right turn lane, and that one remains unfunded. Now into the Transportation Alternatives Program, the TAP, Fisherman Cove. This is sidewalks, pipe drainage, and crosswalk, a LAB project with Marin County. Construction, $600,000, fiscal year 29, so this was added as new funding. Safe Routes to School Program. South Street to Highland Avenue, sidewalks, pipe drainage, and crosswalk. This is another LAB project, new funding in construction, $1 million, fiscal year 29. Palm Beach Road from 714 to Ocean Boulevard, resurfacing, new funding construction of $1.5 million in fiscal year 31, and it's a state-funded agreement with Marin County. Sand Trail / Sand Avenue from Martin Downs Boulevard to Sand Avenue again. This is a resurfacing, another $1 million fiscal year 31, and again, this is a state-funded agreement with Marin County. With that, that's all I had. Questions and comments, and this is contact information for District Secretary, and I will take any questions or comments from the board.
Questions? Commissioner Hetherington.
Yes. Firstly, let me say to Secretary Braun, thank you for being here, and thank you for your presentation as well, and to all the members of the DOT. I had a couple things. thank you on behalf of our District 2 residents. You saw that South River was on there. I think it was number 18, the southbound turning lane, but we have collaborated together for 5+ years with your team, seeing some members coming and going throughout your District 4, and the District 2 residents of South River truly appreciate it. We've made some major safety improvements. Of course, their primary goal was a signal. We have made major traffic safety enhancements there, and the residents are very appreciative, so thank you for that. And then thank you for your presentation on the priority projects of 710. We've worked long and hard. We've had a lot of residents come in for safety. So we appreciate you. We all went really to bat in Tallahassee to get that funding, so that's appreciative. I have a question. When you mention your priority projects, as far as the signalization at 710 and Allapattah Road, is it falling in between, say, your A through E projects?
Correct. That will fall into segment C, between C and D, basically. So we're looking into the signalization as of now. We don't have a final say whether or not the signalization will be part of the project, but we're looking into it. I know our staff have doing the analysis that it will be required to get the traffic signal approved. We don't have, like I say, a final say today on it, but we're looking into it.
Okay, but we're thinking there will be a signal along that corridor, because if you think about it, and I'll give you my, I actually grew up out in Indiantown. I represent District 2, but I grew up in Martin County, and I grew up right in Little Ranch Estates now, so I have lots of friends and family, and I'm out in Indiantown at least probably once a week, if not more. And from my perspective, I know you were working on a warrant signal analysis, and I feel that 710, and you probably have witnessed it, there's been a number of crashes, is probably one of the most, 710 Allapattah, one of the most dangerous intersections. You think those were coming from Okeechobee, they're going eastbound, and if you're in that turning lane, turning onto Allapattah, many times people will just go around to continue going east. So those that are pulling out of Allapattah, heading east, there's conflict movements there. I've seen traffic backed up from 710 on Allapattah or 609, whichever you'd like to call it, waiting at that intersection, backed up all the way to Palomino and or Morgan Street, which is, so past Indianwood, past Palomino intersections, and past Morgan Street. And that's happening at a probably more frequent occurrence. So I would just ask that, you really seriously consider that. And if that's something that can be moved up, I know there's some talk about realigning that intersection as well. But for the safety of the residents, I believe that that is a crucial component of this. And we appreciate all your efforts. And then I just wrote down one more thing, and I believe it was number 13. You had, it's unfunded project, Allapattah Road, resurfacing to North Minute Maid, and I just say this to make a note that from the intersection of 710 to approximately Morgan, if you notice, the power poles are just about, and I know that I've mentioned this to Mr. Donaldson and FP&L and our Public Works Department, the power poles sit probably about 2 feet off the road there. And we've had cars have crashes into them. We've had the neighborhoods lose power on a multitude of times. So as you are going through that resurfacing and shoulder widening project, we would love to collaborate with you and FP&L and try to get those power poles moved further off the road. And I can't say thank you enough from our community for the safety of our residents, and we appreciate it.
Commissioner Capps.
Great to have you here. I haven't met you yet, Mr. Braun, but good to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to
So I understand Highway 710 is a strategic intermodal system road. And just, can you refresh our memories about what that means?
Sure. So there's a statewide system, right? Strategic Intermodal System. We love our acronyms, the SIS, SIS. Essentially, it's the hierarchy, the highest hierarchy, or the top of the hierarchy as far as the highway network. So if you think of the interstate system, any of the roadways that connect regions, so State Road 60, State Road 70, State Road 710, are in that category because they really serve freight industry, regional, interregional connections. And then also the other element of the SIS are some of the modal connections as well to seaports and airports. So if you think of it, really it's that hierarchy from economic sustainability of the state, moving people and goods, it's really that higher order projects. I don't know, Cesar, if you want to, the SIS group sits in his shop. But if I may, even though there wasn't a question, that presented us with that opportunity to try to tap into the strategic intermodal system to fund this project. Right? We understood this was a critical project for this community, for this MPO. As mentioned, a lot of you advocated for it. We at the district advocated for it because the SIS is a statewide competitive program. So we made that our top SIS priority for the district, really competing against interstate interchange projects from other regions and other districts. And that was important. It was important for us to understand the importance of this project. We know the importance of it, and we were able to advocate for it, in addition to the advocacy from a lot of you. We also had to really, I'll use the term here, piecemeal elements of the project, right? We were able to, at least a couple of years ago, advance the design phase to at least show statewide we're willing to invest district funds in the design just to keep the momentum of that project going, rather than saying, hope is not a strategy. So it was important, right? We had to share the data. We had to understand really from you guys. So that presented us with that opportunity to tap into the strategic intermodal system. There were some big dollar amounts on that screen, right? Mm-hmm. And there was a round of applause, which I think shows you, or shows me, the understanding that this board has on how important that funding was for this project. But it probably would have taken us, had it not been a SIS facility, probably would have taken us decades to piecemeal the funding for that project, to be honest.
So I understand the strategic intermodal system has its own budget and that it was not increased in this year. So that required you to sort of use some discretion and to prioritize the project and move money from one to another.
So excellent point. So although great news for 710 and great news for Martin County, we had a look at other SIS projects, strategic intermodal sister projects across the state and across the district that we could either defer or kind of shuffle funds around to make that happen.
Right. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
Right. Thank you.
For using that discretion in that way.
Thank you.
Yeah, we all do. We know that that's an unprecedented allocation, and we know that you had to do an awful lot of juggling in order to make that happen. Commissioner Reed.
Yes, I have a question. With this work program that we vote on, when do our questions get answered? For example, I remember Chair Hurd brought up wetland mitigation on the Cove Road widening project. And then I also had questions on 2 priority projects with land development code and crosswalk. So at what phase in these programs do those questions get answered for us as a board?
So I'm going to say different stages of those projects. So if it's a project-specific comment, if we're working on a project development environment study, or even working on the design of a project and constituents or yourself have questions, we work through those on a project level basis. Mitigation, right, that's part of that environmental analysis, that's part of that project. So that project team should be working with you to address how those environmental impacts will be mitigated. I say that in the sense that what we're presenting is the full work program, right? It's all projects in this county over the next 5 years. We're happy to answer questions on those specific projects, but to answer your question, I think we can address those at a project level. Today is really more about, here's the presentation, here's the full portfolio of projects we're planning to deliver. And they're at different stages in the process. Some are project development environment, some are we're only initiating the design phase. But those are, I would say, the 2 points of entry for working conversations on those specific projects, either during the design phase or if a project has a project development environment study at that point of the process. Long answer to a yes/no question, or I don't know if that helped.
It doesn't really help, but, yeah. I don't know if there's other board members with more experience than I do. I know I've only been up here for a year, but they were good questions from the chair, and I thought they were good questions from me. And I don't know if it's my responsibility to continually bring these questions up, or if they're jotted down somewhere and you guys will address these questions and concerns throughout it. It's new to me now that I sit up here, but is it my responsibility to continually bring these things up as we go through, or does someone actually remember my questions and concerns, or the chairs, or any of our board members up here, who actually brings them forward to answer them and keeps track?
Before Vanita gets up here. So remember that slide I had trick,
Which one?
trust, respect, relationships,
Yeah.
empowerment, communication. So I trust and empower my team, right? So if your question, who remembers that? I'm expecting the project team heard those questions, they're following up, and they'll get back to you at the appropriate time.
So-
One of which is the project manager, Vanita Saini, who's here, that can probably answer that. But if you've made the comment, if there was a formal comment at a presentation here, an email, or even a comment that you or one of your constituents make, especially in the project development and environment study, that all goes into the project team looking at those comments. And at some point, if they have the answer, they'll present it back here or close the loop with you. Vanita?
So to follow up on that, if I wanted to find out any comments or concerns on any projects that we have on the MPO board from here until maybe 2050 on our long-range plan, would I public record request that? Who would I reach out to find out all the questions, comments, and concerns for each individual project?
Commissioner Reed, you could always reach out to me, and if it's regarding a state road or state-managed project, I will reach out to FDOT to be able to have you all coordinate. If it's a county-managed project, I can reach out to the project manager to have them call you and address your
Do they
question.
keep track of it in like a database somewhere, or is it, I mean, it sounds like it's in each individual folder, and you might know more.
Hi, good morning. Vanita Saini with DOT. Yeah, I wanted to answer Sean Reed's inquiry for Cove Road specifically. We did complete the PD&E phase of the project, and we do document all the comments from the public and the MPO, and we do address all those comments as well. The project is currently in the design phase. We're about 5% complete in the design. We just recently got started. So what they're doing right now, the design team is working on trying to find, innovations and how to make the project better. So they're taking the PD&E design and they're further developing it. And with that, you're going to have refinements. So we did capture the wetlands question, and the design team is looking at that. And the goal of the project is obviously to not create more impacts. We want to try to minimize impacts, and we want to give a product to the community, that could be lasting for a long number of years. So we still have all the PD&E comments that were captured. The design team is looking at that, further refining all the questions you have. So we do have a project website. So if you want to inquire, the contact information of the design project manager is there. But like Beth said, you can give her information or contact the project manager directly if you want to find out, inquire. I think the best is just if you know the project manager of the project, just contact them directly or work through Beth. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Just a bit of housekeeping. Chairwoman Hurd had to attend another important meeting that her absence was not an option. So I, as the next, I guess, senior member of the group, will handle the meeting from this point forward. Commissioner Reed, anything further?
That's it.
Thank you. This is much more of a high-level view, but your questions are important, and I would definitely, from my experience, recommend hitting them to our local staff, which will then work with the secretary's staff at every level. Mayor DiPaolo, you're next.
Yes, thank you. Secretary Brown, I appreciate you being here, and back to 710, I appreciate all the hard work that everybody has done to get the funding for that project. Some people know, some people don't. I was a cop out there for many, many years, and I picked up more bodies off that road than I would ever care to remember. And it's important that that road get done. And recently, as you may know, we've had 4 fatalities on that road within, actually one day, from one end to the other end. And prior to that, we lost a good friend in law enforcement in a crash on that road. And I appreciate you getting the money and getting it done as soon as possible. I know that we have projections to say, okay, we're going to do this in this amount of time and that amount of time, but I think it's a great importance to move that project as fast as we can. And I know that I went to a class last week on FDOT and MPO and all that, and it's actually mind-boggling everything you have to go through. So I give Beth here a ton of praise for the job she does, because there's a lot of wheels moving at one time. But if we can move those wheels a little bit faster, it would be great. And to the commissioner's comment on Alapata Road, I also live out there. And when you're coming out of Alapata Road onto 710, it is dangerous and you're sitting there for a long time. So that light is needed. Even though we're looking at, Indiantown as a village is growing. And even though we're looking at realigning everything so that Alapata comes out at Martin Luther King, we can have a 4-way intersection there. For the time being, I think it would be beneficial to put a traffic light at Alapata and 710. Not only to allow people to get out of Alapata safely onto 710, but also to slow traffic down. Because I can tell you, cars come flying through there at 70 and 80 miles an hour. And we got a great law enforcement team out there, but they can't be everywhere every minute of every day. So if we can get traffic slowed down, and now with the traffic light at Garcia and 710, it's going to slow it down too. So I think it'll be beneficial to have a traffic light there, and if we could get that done somehow, I think that it would be a safety factor and something that the residents that live there would really appreciate, especially the people that live off of 609. So I appreciate and I thank you for all your hard work. I really do. You and your team are doing a great job. And you provide a lot of information to the community, and thank you. They came out and did a presentation for the village, which was very well received and very well appreciated. So thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
Thanks for your comments.
Thank you very much. We have one request to speak form from a member of the public, if you don't mind.
Something was triggered with your previous comment as far as local context. I did want to mention Chris Cares over here. So he's our Treasure Coast operations engineer. So his office is in Fort Pierce. And basically, Chris is boots on the ground here in the Treasure Coast, has the responsibility of the construction and the maintenance for Treasure Coast. So similar to the questions before, if a constituent of yours has a maintenance question or the status of a project, Chris is available really just to, and has that relationship with MPO and county staff as well. So I did want to mention that besides the team involved with the work program development, I appreciate Chris being here and all he does here in the Treasure Coast.
Well, I would tell you, Secretary, from my perspective, having been up here for quite a while, your staff is remarkable. all of the faces that came with you. I know a lot of these folks drive from far away to be here and have many municipalities that they are responsible for. I recognize all those faces. You have an excellent team here. And from my point of view, I'm Palm City, so a lot of the projects, we have the Turnpike in 95, they've always been very responsive. Our team is, for a small county, we have a stellar team. My concern is always that the larger counties will try to steal them. But that in mind, I think the relationship is remarkable, and some of it, FDOT is one of the largest bureaucracies at the state level that we deal with, but it has a very personal feel. I think it just takes a while to understand who's who and how to get it done. So to my colleague, Commissioner Reed, I think as time passes, he'll also start to realize, okay, I go here for this, and I go over here for that, and a lot of those new type of commissioner concerns will start to ebb. So I appreciate it. And having you here today, I know throughout the past, your predecessors, whenever the secretary shows up, it's a big deal.
I always enjoy coming up here.
Yeah, we appreciate it. So we do have one request to speak for him from Miss Susan Gibbs Thomas. Ma'am, you are recognized.
The first mayor of Indiantown.
That's right.
Thank you so much. For the record, my name is Susan Gibbs Thomas. I am a resident of Martin County, and I do live in Indiantown. And it is a pleasure to stand before you this morning. It really is. It's actually emotional. Having sat in one of those seats, I know exactly the work that you have to do and what you continue to do. And the long-standing members on this board have been doing that along with the staff for many years to get to this point where the secretary is able to stand here before you and say, we have got it funded. They have listened and they have heard, thankfully, the community and the tragedies that happen on that road. And I have down here, I wanted to say exactly what everybody else has already said. And so all I can do is just echo those sentiments, but also to kind of pile on a couple of things. Talk about the SIS system, but 609 feeding into 710, and thank you, Commissioner Hetherington, for your comments there and your persistence in that, because you know exactly what it is. But you have to realize, my sister has lived out on that road, on the corner of the Grove Road and 609 for 50 years. Minute Maid Grove out there, that road, she was out there when it was still a grove for 50 years, and she complains to me quite regularly about the traffic. And I don't know if people really realize that at this point in time, it amazes me every time I drive by it, which is almost daily, that St. Lucie County now has Crosstown Parkway and Becker Road connected to State Road 609. So you have all the traffic that is utilizing it instead of 95, and we're talking heavy dump trucks and it's amazing. And I know I'm going over my time, I apologize. Also, safety priorities, and I appreciate the Secretary's comments about momentum and keeping a top priority of 710, because I think we are kind of it, and it's wonderful, and the mayor has spoken to the lives that are still being taken on a regular basis. When this is done, you're still going to have a 2-lane road once this is done until you get to State Road 70. So I think that needs to be continue to be a top priority, that the whole thing gets done. And thank you so much for staff, state staff, local staff, and what you do to make it a reality. It's a pleasure to see. Thank you.
Thank you. Good timing. Okay, with that, we would end that specific agenda item. Any other questions or comments from board members? Anyone else from the public like to address us?
Yeah, I just want to say that from the staff perspective, the staff at District 4, as you all have said, have been amazing. Steve Braun, Cesar Martinez, I mean, they've been telling Martin County's story up in Tallahassee. Jessica Rubio and Chris Cares, they have been so responsive. Thank you all so much from just the MPO staff. And thank you, Board, for not only advocating for that project, but also just as an FYI, I know this is getting most of the airtime, but Secretary Braun mentioned the resurfacing of US 98, the wider shoulders. The reason why that happened is because this board a few years ago approved an amendment to their bylaws to have a freight advisory committee. We're one of the few MPO states that have a freight advisory committee, and it was through their efforts and recommendations that the rural roadways are getting wider shoulders. And that does a lot for the safety for those highways out west that don't have shoulders, especially that are two-lane, that don't have shoulders. So thank you to this board for, recommending that freight advisory committee, because they have been very helpful with not only 710, but with projects like US 98.
Excellent. Shall we move on? Our next agenda item is 8B.
No, the staff is recommending approval of this.
Move approval.
Item 8A.
I'll move approval.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Yes, sir. Question?
Yeah, on that thing that I brought up in the beginning of the meeting, does that have anything to do with voting on action items at all?
Well, I think he's talking about that the agenda wasn't posted on the website. What I'd like to see us do until we get a legal clarification is...
Yeah, the meeting was posted on the website, and I will talk to legal about the agenda.
Right, so what I'd like to do is continue the meeting as though it's our regular meeting.
Yeah.
And then if we get a legal, I'm not a lawyer, but if we get a legal finding that somehow that was a problem, then the presentations are the same. We'd have to do all of the votes again at a future meeting, but I don't want to not have the meeting.
Right, yeah, I'm not saying that, but we still go on with taking action.
We're going to take the actions
I
if
just
we...
want to make sure. For
Yeah, I understand. In my opinion, we would take the actions as though it's a traditional regular meeting. And if after the fact we find out that somehow that the meeting was not properly previously figured out how it should be, we'll have a special meeting, or at our next meeting, we will listen to all the votes again, but we wouldn't have to have the secretary come back unless he's got extra cash that they came up with or something like that. We'd be more than happy to have him come back. But in the meantime, that's how I think would be the most appropriate. I hear
So I
your,
want to make sure, so I can vote then.
yes, you can vote, and if we find out that none of us shouldn't have voted, we will have to reconsider all of these votes at a future meeting. But let's say we find out that, oh, no, that was okay, it was more of a technicality, then the meeting
Yeah,
would...
like I said, the meeting was, the posted, we will talk to the attorney about the agenda. Go ahead.
Sir,
If I may share related to that point, I also am not an attorney. Just for Commissioner Reed's consideration or in this discussion, we did have a public hearing related to our work program last week. So that was a notice public hearing. We had that information available, again, not necessarily an MPO notice, but we presented at a public hearing last Thursday night, and the entire work program, even more than what was presented in this presentation, was shared online prior to that hearing. So just
Excellent.
for consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So with that in mind, that's, you have a light for this?
That's an old light.
Hers is in. And Commissioner Reed, that was your question, that's why your light's on?
Yeah, it was. I just didn't feel comfortable voting on stuff.
Well, you're more than welcome I think if you're at a meeting, you're supposed to vote, but if you
Yeah, I'd
want,
just be a no on them, that's all.
that's fine. That's the same thing as voting, but
Right.
that's fine. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
We have, motion carries with Commissioner Reed opposing. Thank you very much. Thank you. I don't know if some of the staff is staying for this next one from FDOT.
You don't know if some of the,
If they're departing, and we'll give them a moment to depart. or if
they're welcome to stay.
Yeah, of course.
The next item is the
Yes.
federal highway.
The next item, 8B, Federal Highway Administration, Federal Transit Administration, Transportation Management Area, the TMA 2025 Certification Report.
I gotcha. You can use a clicker if you'd like, or I can give you the mouse.
I don't know if that's.
Ma'am, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Are you Erica Thompson?
I'm Erica Thompson. And
Welcome.
I'm here, thank you. I'm here to present the summary of the findings of the 2025 Port St. Lucie TMA certification. As you know, Martin MPO is part of the Port St. Lucie TMA. So federal regulations require a certification review for transportation management areas. Those are areas that have a metropolitan planning area of over 200,000 in population. And so we are required at least every 4 years to evaluate the planning processes and then document those findings. So we did a virtual site visit back in March. The review team was myself, Dana Knox from my office, and then Aries Little from Transit Administration. And we identified 4 noteworthy practices, no corrective actions, and 2 recommendations. And so I'm going to just hit on some of the highlights. So the federal review team commends the Martin County Transit for developing a transit efficiency study and collaborating to improve service connectivity along State Road 1. We also recognize the Martin MPO for developing an interactive map to enable the prioritization of future projects based on the location and impacts of the future developments. And the federal review team commends the Martin MPO for its innovative approaches to engagement with the public and transportation industry stakeholders, and their creative outreach methods that included children's activities. That was unique. And just the fact that you were able to come up with 700 completed surveys, that's very impressive. And the Florida Commission for the Transportation Disadvantaged recognized the Martin MPO as the 2022 Planning Agency of the Year for extraordinary efforts to assist those who are transportation disadvantaged. So
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Could you repeat that one?
Yes. The Martin MPO was named the 2022 Planning Agency of the Year for their extraordinary efforts to assist those who are transportation disadvantaged.
That's what I thought you said. That's
Yes.
very good. Appreciate that.
Happy to repeat that. Okay. These slides got a little messed up. Sorry. There were no corrective actions. So that means that Martin MPO is satisfying all the federal requirements, which is exactly what they need to do. So,
Can I ask a
great job.
question?
Yes.
How usual or unusual is it to have no corrective action?
I won't say it's unusual. Sometimes with some of the newer TMAs, we usually find a few more corrective actions. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
No, that's great.
Yeah, but it's excellent. And then we did have a few recommendations. The first one for outreach and public participation is really just to, we recommend that the MPO build on that interactive map by adding demographic and transit layers to it, because that will just enhance the understanding of the community needs by layering those. And then for the LRTP, or Long Range Transportation Plan fiscal constraint, to increase transparency for the public, it would be great if they could add information that would basically show a list of the projects and then a list of, or another column that basically shows how much revenue there is, just to show that that's, and then that's it. So thank you. And hopefully you all got the full report but if you need a copy of it, I'm sure
Yep.
Beth can give it.
It was in-
Oh, it's in the packet. Okay, excellent. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. But really, this is the final part of this very long review process that we have, so you guys are good for 4 years.
Well, I thank you, on behalf of the board, I thank you for yours and your team's effort. Questions for Ms. Thompson? Seeing, is that?
Not a question, I'm just gonna.
That is an item that we would approve. Commissioner Heatherington.
Pending any public comment, I will move staff's recommendation to approve the 2025 certification report.
Thank you. I don't have any request to speak forms from the public. Anyone from the public looking to address us on this topic? Seeing none, back to the board. We have a motion.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion now and a second. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The motion carries with Commissioner Reed dissenting. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Thompson and your team. Our next agenda item is 8C, fiscal year 26 through fiscal year 30 Transportation Improvement Program, the TIP. These are amendments.
Yes, I'm Margie Tamblin, the senior planner for the MPO, will present this item.
Good morning, board members. I will present today the fiscal year 26 to fiscal year 30 Transportation Improvement Program amendments. I have a few more this time. So amendment number 3 is for State Route 710, Southwest Warfield Boulevard. We got a letter from FDOT asking for us to add this project. And this is just west of the 126 Boulevard to the Okeechobee-Martin County line. And we are adding funding in fiscal years 26, 27, 29, and 30. And we'll have about just over $8 million that is allocated to that project there. And then the other project that we have that we're adding is a Section 5307 formula fund. So this is for transit for the Port St. Lucie urbanized area. And this is the funding that we have allocated. So we have the FTA funds and then also the local funds there. So just under 2.5 million there. And with that, any questions?
Very quick. Commissioner Heatherington.
Nope, that's an old light, but I will move staff's recommendation of the amendment number 3 and 4 to the
Thank
TIP.
you. Any questions for staff from the board? Anyone from the public looking to address us? Seeing none, we have a motion.
Second.
And now a second as well. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? No. The motion carries with Commissioner Reed dissenting. Thank you very much. Our next agenda item is 8D. Florida Turnpike fiscal year 27 through fiscal year 31 draft tentative work program.
Yes, this item is brought for you because the Turnpike is actually FDOT, it's its own FDOT district. FDOT District 4 is who you've heard from in agenda item 8A. This is agenda item 8D. And James Brown is our liaison from the Turnpike, and he will present the Turnpike's draft tentative work program for Martin County.
Fantastic. Mr. Brown, good morning. Welcome. You are recognized, sir.
Sure. James Brown. I am the MPO liaison for Florida's Turnpike Enterprise. I work with District 4, so I work with the MPOs all the way from Indian River down to Broward, and I actually have District 6 as well and work with Miami-Dade.
They figured, why not?
Yes, why not? This is a picture showing the Turnpike Main Line right at Bridge Road. Our facilities in Martin County, we have 20 miles of facility through the county. You'll notice that we're making preparations along the majority of the main line to widen it to a minimum of 6 lanes. Some of our plans for Martin County are to widen it in segments, and later in my presentation I'll get into what segments are funded for design at this time. But just wanted to point out that the main line itself, ultimately, will be a minimum of 6 lanes. So. Wanted to showcase your toll dollars at work. So we had a bridge replacement south of Becker Road. That project had just started, anticipated to finish in the spring of '28 for a cost of just $43 million. This is to replace that bridge because of its age, as well as to prepare it for the future widening. So it'll be able to accommodate that future widening of lanes. For Martin County, we have 3 projects that have some funding for design and right-of-way. I'll point out the first project is the construction of a new interchange, the Direct Connect interchange, which will connect I-95 to Florida's Turnpike Enterprise. We just had our public hearing last week, and Commissioner Capps, thank you for attending that. We did have a good turnout. We had 45 virtual that attended and 27 in person. So it was a really good turnout for that project. Again, that is funded for fiscal year 30. I was happy to see that that was accelerated by a year. We were anticipating it was going to come into that 5th year, but again, for a cost of $25 million for design. The next 2.
Can I stop you,
Yeah,
Mr.
sure.
Brown, just for clarification for the public? I've had some people ask about that as well. When you say funded, you don't mean funded to build it, you mean funded?
Correct, yes,
to
that's the
design.
only phase. Yeah, there's no further, the construction is not funded for that at this time, yeah.
Aware that you don't have a crystal ball, can you give us a ballpark of when this would actually be a thing? I have people, I tell people we move at the speed of government. Some people think that you're getting ready to, have a groundbreaking on this project, like in the next couple of months. We're talking something that's a decade out.
Correct.
Okay, so just so everyone understands, this is not imminent, it's at least 10 years out.
Correct. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. The next I'll mention is the improvements to the Martin Highway interchange with Florida's Turnpike Enterprise. That is currently in design. There's a shy of $2 million, a residual amount to complete that design phase with right-of-way funded in fiscal year 29. Some of the improvements there is really the movements, adding turn lanes, separating the northbound off, so that kind of gets people to where they're going, either making that left or that right at Martin Highway. And then the segment of the widening, which is in design right now, is from Martin Highway up to St. Lucie County line. And that is planned to be widened to 8 lanes in that segment. So for Martin County, from Palm Beach up to Martin Highway, the plan is to widen to 6. And then from Martin Highway up to St. Lucie, and we're kind of really going up towards like Crosstown Parkway area, would be widened to 8 lanes. So that's the plan. And then last week was National Teen Driver Safety Week, so we did want to have a safety moment. Teen Driver Safety Week, it's dedicated to the high rates of car crashes among our teen drivers, which is the leading cause of death for this age group. And we just wanted to make everyone aware that we need to educate teens, parents, and communities about the safe driving behaviors for our teens. And with that, I'll open it up to any additional questions.
Fantastic. Questions for Mr. Brown? Commissioner Capps.
Yes, I thought I would just mention my attendance at the public hearing that we had at IRSC for the Direct Connect on Bridge Road, where we're connecting the Turnpike and I-95. And I would just like to say that that was a first-class presentation. Staff did an amazing job. The props and the videos were very sharp and enlightening, and I really appreciated the meeting and learned a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll be happy to share that with that project team. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Sir, any questions from the public? Seeing none, we give you our thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We need
So-
approval. Staff is,
I apologize. The lights are way over here.
in the corner. I just wanted to say, I travel the Turnpike a lot both ways, and I'm really excited, and I think a lot of people will be about all these improvements, even though they're far off. The direct exchange, I think, is particularly great, so thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Collins.
That was.
Oh, okay.
That was
They
good,
have the,
yeah. We only have one for both of us.
no, I think that's true. Maybe you're right. Thank you very much.
staff is recommending approval.
Yes, we have a motion. I'll entertain a motion.
Move approval.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
That motion carries with Commissioner Reed dissenting. Thank you very much. That was D. 8E, State Road 710 project update. This is a discussion. We will not be voting.
Yeah, I don't know if you have any.
We might have
That 710
discussed what we needed to say, but if you have anything further,
Again, Cesar Martinez, Planning Environmental Administrator. One last update, not as exciting as $300 million earlier, But just to let you know, we had to Commissioner's Reed earlier point about a contact person. Previously, Ron Cariba was in this forum providing you almost a monthly update on 710. Just to let you know, going forward, I'm your contact, your main contact. We have design project managers for each segment, but like the overall contact for the corridor, you feel free to reach out to me. Beth has my contact information, can provide that. But Ron's still working with the state, but he's now working for the Florida Turnpike Enterprise.
Okay.
Now, going forward, this item may remain in the agenda as a status update from design perspective, since the project is fully funded for construction. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's good to know. Any other questions about that update? Seeing none. Number 9, comments from FDOT. Any additional comments from our friends? No. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. My name's John Crane. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm the Director of Transportation Development, and Jessica, the Work Program, Cesar, Planning and Environmental, Birgit is my Modal Development. They all are under me, so I'm the Director there, and I report directly to Steve. I wanted to give Mr. Reed my business card. You can, if you have questions, you just get one of us. And we, even if we don't have the answer, we can certainly get someone to answer that question for you. So I just wanted to make that point and really to thank my staff. They did a really good job. I heard a lot of good things about the collaboration with Beth and her team. So thank you all.
Very much. Thank you. Comments from the advisory committee members. And while we were meeting, I did ask one of Beth's staff to have someone go up to our legal department, and now we have someone come from legal. Why don't we just do this? Do we have 2 other items? Committee, any advisory committee member reports? Any comments, general comments from the board? Mr. Commissioner Reed.
Yeah, I have one. My comments weren't directed like in a harmful way towards DOT or anything, by the way. I'll state that on the record. And same for the MPO. I have conversations at length, whether it's with Ricardo or Beth. I've actually reached out. I think I might have emailed Chris and Steve before, and you guys always answer my questions. More so what I was addressing was specifically from a board perspective. I know how it works in the City of Stuart board. If we have comments or concerns, they get addressed at the next board meeting specifically to that agenda item. Instead, it's like I'm following along, I guess, and just reiterating it every meeting, and they haven't been addressed, and that's the only reason why, and I just wasn't sure on the process. But that's how it works at the city level, and I believe this board might be a little bit different, and that's what I'm just trying to get brought up to speed on. So thank you guys for all you do, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. Now, we will hear from.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Melissa Petrick. I'm one of the senior assistant county attorneys. The issue was brought to me that I guess the agenda was not, while it was given out, it wasn't published on the public website. Based upon that, it's legal's recommendation that we postpone this meeting, postpone any votes on it, so that reasonable notice could be made. We do have to look into it further, what reasonableness is. But at this point, I would recommend that we postpone the remainder of this meeting and reconvene.
Well, that being said, you are the final item of our meeting. What we did do is announce publicly that we would conduct the meeting, understanding that we would have to, after I said that, but I also said, and so did the secretary, neither of us are attorneys. So I said, wouldn't it be a good idea to actually ask one of ours? So, Ricardo, I appreciate that. What we did is conduct the meeting, understanding that we might have to come back. There was only 3 or 4 actual action items that we, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items that we voted on, that we would create an additional meeting, or at our next meeting, bring them all back up for reconsideration.
Correct. I would recommend those 6 items come back as and that no official action be taken on those matters that have already been voted on, and that you re-vote on those at the next meeting.
Is this a new light? Commissioner Collins.
Yes, I just wanted to thank Commissioner Reed for the astute, you were paying attention there, and it can be uncomfortable, and you have to have courage to bring that up, but you very well saved this board from taking an action that could be an issue.
You're welcome.
Thank you to council as well.
Yeah, thank you. I was actually supposed to go to law school, but I never went. But yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate
I
that.
have a question.
Yes.
Ms. Petrick, how is this going to be remedied so this doesn't happen in the future?
It's just a simple.
It's within each department. I think there are, I know for the departments I deal with, we go through it. Everybody's got their designated tasks. I think that's something that the director of each department can speak with their staff to make sure that there's a checklist that goes on.
Okay, so this will be Ms. Beltran.
Yeah, this is the first time this has ever happened since I've been here. I've been here 16 years. So my apologies to everyone. FDOT does have a deadline with the work programs, as does the Turnpike. So the meeting will be very soon. The meeting that this is going to postpone to, we will advertise, obviously, the agenda as well as the whole agenda packet, which includes all the issues that were discussed at this meeting.
All right, so that'll be before February of next year, is that?
Oh, yeah, that'll be before, like, November 1st.
As quickly as it can legally be advertised.
Our public participation plan says 5 days, at least 5 days. That's why you get the agenda always 7 days in advance. So by probably, we'll do that when that's what we'll be working on this afternoon, and we'll work with your executive aides to get a second meeting by next week.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Appreciate
I
it.
have a comment.
Okay.
I believe it's 7 days for it. But while you're here, I do have a question on sunshine laws and stuff. So my documents, I believe I'm supposed to turn them in. I have a screenshot and what I read into the record that should be turned into the clerk, I guess, to be put in.
Without knowing and not to be not short, I don't know the context of what just, I only was upstairs.
Oh, gotcha.
You're saying.
So like if
what-
I had a screenshot of it that I had brought with me and then I read the statute, should I turn that in for public records?
You can.
Is it supposed to be, I guess?
Well, have you been sharing it with everyone?
Well, I shared it publicly here at the board,
And yes, submit it in as a.
so I just hand it to Beth at the end of the,
You can do that. Mhm.
You can give it, the
Right, give it
bailiff
to
will take
Susan.
it and submit
Okay.
it to the clerk for the record.
I just wanted to make sure while you're here.
Commissioner Capps?
Yes, I would just like to say, don't sweat this. It's okay. We know you and your staff do an awesome job, and small mistakes can be made, but we'll work through it.
Absolutely, I completely agree. I have the utmost confidence in our staff. I appreciate that our colleague Commissioner Reed saw it. Would have been, and I know you said you saw it this morning, it would have been helpful with some extra time, but
I showered at 8 a.m. this morning.
I got you. I think we've completely addressed it. And we will remedy it, and I appreciate you giving us the heads up on that, and Ms. Petrick for coming down and giving us that. Any notes?
We do have the
Development Review
Bicycle
Map?
Pedestrian Advisory Committee will be having a special meeting in December to talk about e-bikes. I know that's a big conversation now with the sheriff's office. They actually came to our joint advisory committee meeting last week, as well as I think the sheriff has been talking to the Board of County Commission. So the Bike Ped Committee will be talking about that, kind of taking a deep dive into that subject. Hopefully, we'll have a speaker from South Florida whose local government has passed a local ordinance having some regulations for e-bikes. So I'll certainly give you more information on that before that meeting occurs. And then secondly, under notes, we have our update for our development review map.
Yep. Good morning. So we have recently updated our development review map.
Your name for the
Oh,
record.
I'm sorry, Ricardo Vasquez, senior or principal planner with the Martin NPO. So we've recently updated our development review interactive map to showcase all the recent development that's happening in the county and its municipalities. We have the most recent information from the county, from the city of Stewart, and the village of Indiantown. We've also updated our map to identify our most recent list of project priorities you guys all adopted last June. So some of the red lines and red dots you see, a few of them are new, and then you'll see also some of those have turned from red to green, signifying that they've been funded for construction. So as we recently just got the work program today. We'll be making some additional updates to those lines in the future. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions about this map. And of course, you can find it on our website. There's a button right under our picture slider that says Development Review Map that you can click and access the map right away. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Reed?
Love the map. You'll hear me say it every time. I think the public that pays attention, I think they appreciate you guys as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for that? Our next meeting, well, we will have an additional meeting. The next official MPO Policy Board meeting is February 23rd. And with that, we will adjourn. Thank you very much.